What's up, everybody? You know who it is. Now, today, I'm going to slow it down real quick. And if y'all see me sweating, excuse me. You know, young guys like myself don't always get the opportunity to sit with legends that not only was my influence, but also just, I can't even get my words right. It's just like, it's like meeting Prince or Michael Jackson right now. These guys right here that I am sitting with. I remember as a kid, when my mom was working her second job, I had to go, go to the radio because
don't make me old now.
Things. And when I wanted to hear the brand new hip hop, the artist that you had to be an adult to find out about. This is back before they had all the Spotify and all of these guys here was jacking radio stations, jacking signals, and bringing us some of hip hop's music. I mean, the biggest superstars. And right now they're the biggest superstars. Back then they wasn't. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women, men of all ages, let me introduce.
Yes, sir.
DJ Sonic, DJ Vader, the Wonder Twinz. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Right, how's that for?
How was the intro? Did I bring you in right?
Yes, sir.
Did I bring you out?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man,
That's a good.
I bring you guys in right, man.
No, that's a good intro. That's good.
I couldn't. I was stumbling a little bit because it's almost like standing next to Jay-Z and just not knowing what to say.
Well, we're happy to be here. I appreciate you having us on here, and I appreciate you, like we were saying, continuing the torch, carrying the torch, and spreading all this stuff on to the next generation.
Man, if it wasn't for you guys, there would not be a fire or a torch. I mean, you guys have done so much when it comes to radio, DJing, I mean, just music in general. You guys, and the magic word I can say is you guys did it independently. Y'all didn't have the big machine. Y'all just had the people behind y'all. And that's what's
we had sponsorship. We were sponsored by MasterCard and Visa. So, but that sponsorship, we can all pretty much get that.
Listen, I need to come hang around y'all a little bit. I may need that type of sponsorship myself.
No, you have to pay that sponsorship back.
I gotta get something. But for all the youngsters who are just now being introduced to you guys, and let me give them a little dab more information. These guys right here, when Lil Wayne wasn't getting no love, when 50 was, a guy trying to just come up in the game. When the names can go on and on and on and on. When you think about cats like Naughty by Nature and these guys were the ones who took the records, put them on the turntables. Technique 1200s. Am I right in saying that? Technique 1200, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And making sure everybody felt it. And you had to take your cassette tape, put it in the deck press, record, make sure you got the interviews as well as the mixes from these guys. That's why, like I said, I feel like a kid in a candy store. I feel like I'm in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory right now going crazy. I genuinely do. But where did you guys, when do you guys say that you got hooked when it came to music?
Well, I think every kid will say that, junior high, around that time is when music, I think in general, kind of makes an impact on everybody's individual life. So I don't want to show my age and let you know when I was in junior high, but it was a long time ago.
Don't worry about it, man. We all forever 21. Don't worry about it.
I'll be 21 next month.
I don't know. I
Now,
think I've always been an equipment person. I've always loved audio equipment. I mean, I've had a radio station set up in my bedroom since I was 10 years old. I used to interview my brother and I used to interview my sister. My brother would pretend he was some dignitary from another country, and we used to interview him. And then we got to another song, and we'd come back, and my brother would use a different voice and pretend he was somebody else, and I'd interview him again. And we used to do that as kids all the time. And if we used to have a board set up, and we used to have a bunch of milk crates that held it up, and we had a little small 4-channel mixer. It was like a microphone mixer. It just had 4 slides on it, one for each mic. And we used to plug a tape deck into one, maybe a CD player into one. This is before we even had turntables. And we would just do like pause tapes with the cassette tape. You'd hit record and you'd record something, and then you'd pause a tape, and then you'd wait and bring another song up and you unpause. I mean, so we've been doing that since we were little, and we grew up in a musical household. My mother always had, she would have like, I'd say, Kenny G, she'd have Chuck Mangione, she'd have Kenny Rogers, she'd have that stuff. And my father would always have either news, or he would have, not news, talk radio, or he would have classical music. He'd have Beethoven and Mozart and stuff like that playing. So we kind of grew up in that, with that type of music in the house. So gravitating to hip hop was really just a natural progression of our own together, just the youth of our time, the music at the time, hip hop, and it still is, was a dominant, rebellious music style. And as young kids coming up, that's what you are. You're rebellious to everything around you. Your parents' rules, I mean, everything. So we've always had music in us.
I mean, it as you guys talk, I remember hearing about you guys and your events. And this is back when, you can go to the park and watch everybody playing handball and so on. And, as you talked about that equipment, it's like now I think about today where it's so much easier to become a DJ and to do radio, and to, like, the struggle and the process was so much different then than it is now, as it should, but still, it's like,
Well, one thing that I like to add to that is I hear that a lot, because technology has changed the way that you can perform, but it still starts with developing the skill. You still have to develop the ear. You have to develop that individual talent, and then the equipment that is available now makes everything a little easier to put together, but you still have to develop that skill on an individual basis.
Yeah,
and I mean I'm sorry, go ahead.
When you look at, like, me personally, my daughter's name is Jasmine, but we call her Jazz.
Okay.
My favorite DJ ever is DJ Jazzy Jeff. So you can put 2 and 2 together and see how I feel about it. Like Jazzy Jeff, when you listen to the skills he was putting out back in 1990, 1988, and 1986, and then when you look at the equipment he was using back then, that's a clear example that equipment is only half of it. You can have the best equipment out there and you can still be a shitty DJ.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I follow Jazzy Jeff. And his skills now is still like,
100%.
And
but what's even better than just his skills, which is a huge part of being a DJ, is his ability to read the room. His ability to know what people want to hear, and not just have it be chart driven, but have him play some odd, eclectic shit that you ain't heard in a long time, but it worked, and it worked so well. And that's a big part of what makes a good DJ. You have to have, well, listen, you don't have to have good equipment to be a good DJ, okay? You have to be good on the equipment you have. And then you need to be able to take that equipment and know how to apply it to a very unique situation, which is whatever the room is you're in. If you're in a room of 20-year-old girls, you're going to need to have music that they're going to want to listen to. If you're in a room of 50-year-old girls, it might be a different playlist. It probably is. And if you don't know how to pivot and adjust that, the equipment you're on ain't gonna make a lick of difference if you don't know what to play with. You know what I mean?
And I definitely understand. Like I was raised around as before we were talking. I was raised around like guys like Cool, DJ Red Alert, DJ Chuck Chill Out. Much love to them. Also Grandmaster Flag. Like I was raised around these guys, literally like was around them, and I was in that period where there was no Serato, there was no download. You had to get the vinyl, you had to pick up the crate, and you know what I mean. Like you really had to, like when you were in the club, or you in it. Well, I was in the club, but when you were DJing, you had to have somebody on the side to go through the records and put them on, and it was either Technique 1200s, as I remember, or the Pioneers. I was always a Technique guy, but that's just.
Well, oh yeah.
That was my degree.
What, the CDJs?
Oh no. We talk about the. Was it the CDJs? Nah, it wasn't.
Well, the Pioneer. Nobody paid attention to Pioneer until they had the CDJs. But you had the Technique 1200s, and then you had the black ones, which were the 1210s. But those two models were basically the only turntable that anybody ever used. Newmark came out with one at one point, which was pretty decent for a direct drive table, and a lot of people did use it, but it never became an industry standard like the 1200.
Yeah, I mean, I actually tried to purchase a few months ago some Techniques, and I remember with Technique 1200s, it was like $100, $200 a turntable. Now
I don't remember that.
Now it's like $1,200.
You can't buy it. If you want to buy Technique 1200s, they're discontinued. You can't buy them. I've tried looking for them online. They're $2,000 a piece, and I don't even know if they even still exist or if that's like a refurb or what. But they don't still even make them anymore.
I think I've seen a few of them online, but again,
they're a tough buy. But at the same time, they're a great turntable because their whole construction is different. They're different than everything else. It's a magnetically driven turntable, which is why with no friction, I still have them that we bought back in whatever year we bought them things. I still have them, and they still work. And my brother still got his, and they still work, and they never die. That's why people love Technique. But if you look at Red Alert, Red's been using 1200s forever. His mixer has changed through the years, and who knows? Maybe nowadays he uses some sort of a controller like a lot of people do. But the equipment has never made the DJ. I can remember, do you remember years ago? I think we were coming up from downtown, and I believe we were driving Red up to Power with all his records, so he could go put them upstairs in the. Where'd my brother go?
We lost him. We'll get him back. We'll get him back.
But I can remember Red Alert having to go upstairs, having somebody come downstairs from Power 105 with a giant hand cart, and they would take Red's crates. He'd probably have a dozen of them, if not more. They'd load them on the hand cart, and they would take them upstairs and lock them up for him in the closet. And that's what he would have to take to go to clubs. He'd have to schlep around 12, 15 crates. He would narrow them down to just the ones he's going to need tonight. But it was a lot more than it is nowadays because you never know what you're going to come across. And there's different types of DJs. Red Alert, Jazzy Jeff. I mean, these are DJs where people come to hear them play what they choose to play for the people. They're not in the club where the people are coming up saying, play this, play that, play this, play that. They're just there to listen to what is Red going to play for me tonight. But, to get to that point, you have to master the art of knowing what the people want to hear.
And as a DJ, do you feel today like the craft is due to maybe the technology of how easier it is now that the craft is not cherished or appreciated as much as it should be?
I guess it'll always feel like that. You'll always feel like they never love your baby as much as you do. You know what I mean? That's just the nature of everything. I'll always feel like people don't really like today's youth don't really cherish hip hop the way we were taught to cherish it when we came up, you know, but it's different. It's the same name, but it's a whole different culture now. There's times when I think that some of the music nowadays should be in a different genre because it is different. I mean, I see people, you know, hip hop is a culture that was created around a certain part of our globe. It was pinpointed down to a certain area, and the smells, sights, and sounds that came out of that area, it came out of that group of people, it came out of their daily life, and it's something that spread faster than I think anybody anticipated it to be. But that was hip hop, and if kids wanted to grow up and be a hip hop head, elders who took that seriously held their feet to the fire and made them learn about who's Bambaataa, who's Zulu Nation, made them learn about, you know, Ice-T, NWA, made them learn about the World Class Wrecking Crew and that history, made them learn about their history of hip hop. So you're always going to feel like there's kids out there that don't care about the history of hip hop. I mean, you got kids who are known rappers on MTV who are saying they've never listened to Tupac or Biggie, and much less Grandmaster Flash or anything further back, or Public Enemy or anything like that. So there are times when I feel like we're two different cultures. You know what I mean?
With the way that hip hop, because now hip hop itself is being literally put in classrooms. We look at schools like NYU, where Rock Nation, Jay-Z is bringing. He has even producers like Ninth Wonder teaching classes. You got Play from Kid and Play, who's he's a professor. He's teaching classes on hip hop. Like, it has went from something that started in the parks, and we're literally now in classrooms. You said Tupac. Tupac has a class that's around his theories.
You know, it's a testament to hip hop. It's always been another stepping stone. You know, we were proud when they had a hip hop tour. We were proud when they named streets after various hip hop artists. You know, we every single one of them is another stepping stone in the you know, in the history of hip hop. But it's such a global thing nowadays that it's not surprising. You know what I mean? For it to be in New York, it's not surprising. But I'd like to see it trickle even farther out. But the problem, not a problem, but the further away hip hop goes from New York, the more it changes. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the personal belief, sometimes for the worse. But, you know, it always changes. And I guess that's a good thing. But there reach a point sometimes when it's changed so much that you wonder if it's even still the same thing it was when you started. You know what I mean?
When I was growing up, one of the things I loved most about especially DJs like you and DJ Sonic, and hopefully he comes back soon. We had him, but hopefully he comes back soon. But one of the things I loved most was the DJ battles. We don't see those anymore. And I cry. I be begging to, like, let's get a traditional DJ battle too. Like, if any of you guys who's watching, if you watch the movie Juice and Omar Epps' character GQ, when he's in that arena and he's battling the other DJ who coincidentally was supposed to be from Brooklyn. And I mean, I didn't like that. I didn't like that representation. Me being a Brooklyn boy, but still, it was like to see two DJs going back and forth. Who can do the best mixes and scratches, and who can make the dance crews break better and move better? It was no feeling like that. It was like now, especially in this pandemic, it's so hard to even. Like, I just cry at like just to see that.
Well, those moments still exist. It just depends on where you're looking for them at. I mean, as a DJ, I find that moment every time I DJ. Sometimes at house parties, sometimes at clubs. Right now it's a hotel. I mean, it's all different locations. But every time I set up my turntables in a nice tight little room where I know we're going to pack it out, I create that same feeling every time. That's my goal. That's my goal, is as people come in, I start looking at who they are, what they look like, what I think they're going to want to listen to. I start watching their head when I start playing stuff to see who likes what and what gets a better reaction. And I slowly turn the heat up on the room until it starts to boil over the top like it did in Juice. And I'll tell you, the funny coincidence is that Juice is the movie that made me really want to be a DJ. And it came full circle so many different ways. But when I saw that movie, that was it. That's all it took. I knew I wanted to be a DJ after that moment. We got turntable. I mean, we got legit turntables after that, and really started buying doubles of records and trying to become a DJ. And then it was years and years later, to 15 years later, 10 years later, that we even linked up with Naughty by Nature, who now in hindsight was in the movie, and it's all full circle. And Red Alert, we built such a close relationship with Red Alert, and he was in the movie. Latifah, I mean, all of them. Kid Capri, I mean, everybody that was in that movie. It was such a organic moment in time for music, for hip hop, for all of that. I don't know if that'll ever be recreated, but yeah, I mean, the moment, the energy of that room that you look for, DJ battles and stuff like that. I don't know about the battles, but that energy, that's what makes DJ, that's what makes you want to be a DJ. I say to my wife all the time that there's an electricity that really does. It shoots across the stage. It shoots through, it shoots across the turntables when you're in the middle of a set. I mean, but when you're up on a stage, it shoots across that stage and you can feel it. You really can feel it. And all it is, it's music. It's the magic of music. Music is an amazing, I don't know, commodity, substance, whatever you want to call it. Music is magic. It's magical. It sews everybody together. I can find a song that you and me would sing at the top of our lungs together. It exists between everybody. There's a song out there that'll tie everybody together. And it's music. It's an amazing thing. And so if you find the DJ's whole thing is to find the right song at the right time. Get that room full of enough people, get a few drinks flowing, the heat's going, and next thing you know, you play Hot in Here by Nelly and everybody loses their mind.
Hey, go crazy.
Or whatever. Or Pitbull or whatever. You know, I mean, it is what it is. It's some rooms it's nice. Some rooms it's some old school hip hop. Some rooms it's some top 40 stuff that just came out. The point is it's all music. You know what I mean? And you have to respect it like that. You have to respect the fact that like it or not, it's all music and it all moves somebody.
In your career with you and DJ Sonic, was there ever a group of DJs or just you yourself? Was there an individual DJ that you just loved to battle anytime you got a chance?
That I love to battle. And well, I mean, I grew up with a DJ. Me and my brother used to battle each other, but I don't think it was a battle so much on like battling like that, where like trying to compete so much as with each other. Is that me and my brother were always trying to learn what each other was doing, and we were always trying to do it together. We used to have two setups side by side in the basement. I had my turntables and mixer, and then he had his turntables and mixer. And really, it was all of ours. We paid for everything together. That was what made us become a duo, was that my brother said, you know, why don't we just start splitting everything down the middle? We get twice as much shit for the same price. And so it made sense. But we always used to DJ together. We always would practice together and DJ in my parents' basement together. And then when we had a house together, we DJ there together and started doing radio and everything else together. And it was just always the two of us. That's all it ever was when we were coming up. And then as we became the Wonder Twinz as a brand, and we became more than just trying to be two kids DJing. Before, you know, in the beginning, we were just the Meltz Brothers. That's all we were. You knew when we were DJs. If you had a house party, call the Meltz Brothers. They'll come over and DJ. And we used to drag these giant-ass speakers that were like 5 feet tall, and It was ridiculous back then. But that's what we did, and that's what we loved. And then eventually, people started calling us the Wonder Twinz, and that's a whole nother story. But with that, then our circle of DJs did start growing, because once we started doing events, other DJs would come to the events, and we started meeting other DJs at radio stations, in venues, clubs, open mics, and things like that. And we started to build them.
Sonny coming back right now. Let me get him in here.
There he is. He's coming back. So
we got DJ Sonic back with us now. Lost him for a little second, but as always, DJ Vader held him down. We kept the conversation growing.
Yeah, you're lucky I love to talk. Look at me. Every time I turn around, he's in a different place. Where the hell are you now? I can't hear you. You ain't got no mic on. Turn your mic on. Oh, turn your mic on.
Buttons here, buttons there.
Oh, there you go.
Blinking, flashing. I got abducted by aliens.
What are you, at a pizzeria?
Yeah, I'm in a pizzeria.
That's probably
Sal's Pizza.
The next party y'all do. It'll be on Mars or Saturn. It won't be Earth. It'd be some other planet, Pluto, somewhere.
Right now it's just Sal's Pizzeria. Sal's famous pizza.
You know what I mean? As I talk to you guys, like I something like that's big right now is, of course, as you guys may know, is the verses, and I would love to see two DJs do a verses.
Oh yeah, all right. You know who I want to see first and foremost, right off the top?
Bring it on. Who would you like to see do as far as DJs do a verses?
You know how New York wants to see it. Kid Capri and Funkmaster Flex.
Listen, I put that on Instagram and I didn't see nothing. I would love to see that go down.
It won't happen. Kid Capri's unbelievable. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I grew up on Funkmaster Flex. My whole entire career as a DJ growing up, Funkmaster Flex ruled the radio on Hot 97. Of course, there were Spin Bad, of course, rest in peace. There was him on KTU, and I always tuned in to see what he was doing. And there was, of course, there was Red Alert and all that. But when it came to the lane of hip hop, Flex was it, man. That was it. But Kid Capri wasn't on radio. It wasn't until I started seeing Kid Capri in person that I realized how tremendous of a DJ he is. His ability to just be able to reach through the microphone and just control the crowd completely while DJing. That's what I grew up a Funkmaster Flex fan, but I don't know if it would be a fair battle face to face.
It's a different type of energy. It's a totally different type of energy. I mean, they're both dope in their own right, but head to head, my money would always be on Kid Capri.
Well, all right, so let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's keep Kid Capri, but him go against, of course, and we just mentioned him, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Who y'all think will win that versus?
Well,
that's good.
No, that one, I would put my money on Jazzy Jeff.
I don't know. On a versus, I think I might put my.
I would say it's a tie, right?
It's very tough. You know what it is? You know what it is? There's a little bit of a difference there in their DJ style. Now, DJ Jazzy Jeff is intricate. He is precise. Now, don't get me wrong. Kid Capri is not precise. But Kid Capri is so animated, so in your face. And then the one thing he does, which I love, is he gorillas the life out of the turntables and the mixer. Kid Capri's the only one. When he DJs,
not only does he do that, but he keeps total control while
total control. You see knobs flying off the mixer. His turntables move. Like, Kid Capri breaks it when he DJs. And it's impressive because through all of that, he rocks the room so hard. And the amazing thing is, it doesn't look like he's delicately working. He is just becoming one with the turntables and just going nuts, and the crowd eats it up. And it's not to say that Jazzy Jeff can't do that. That's just not his style. Kid Capri is the DJ and the hype man all in one, doing tricks and controlling the crowd the whole time. Whereas Jazzy Jeff is a phenomenal DJ, but he usually does have skills doing the MCing for him. So that is a little bit of a difference there as well. But at the same time, Jazzy Jeff's my favorite DJ ever. So what the hell am I talking?
That's why verses can be tough, because you really got to focus. You got to figure out what you really want to focus on to put, at a head-to-head basis. You know what I mean? Especially with DJing.
Let me tell y'all a curveball.
Variables.
Let me tell you a curveball real quick. Let's say DJ Jazzy Joyce versus DJ Coco Chanel. Who you think will take that?
Oh, Coco Chanel, that scratch is crazy. Coco Chanel is such a crazy, fast scratch. Oh, I love Coco Chanel. I have to go with Coco Chanel just because that's all I remember is her skills. When I think of Coco Chanel, I think of technical DJing skills. I don't even think of her voice or how she works the room vocally. I only think technical skills. So I that's the only reason why I would say her, is because I can't think of Jazzy Joyce's technical skills. She has them, don't get me wrong. Jazzy Joyce is great.
That's a tight one, though, because I grew up listening to both of them. And they were both, and especially them being females, they were nasty. And it was like, that was definitely a battle I've always wanted to see. And because, you got the guys going for King of New York, but when it comes to DJing, who was that queen of New York? And I felt like them two were the ones to go head to head. I mean, they are colleagues and they love each other, but I would give anything to see them do a versus and to see which one of them will come out on top.
You should start a DJ versus. Nobody's doing that.
Well, we got people at RecordDrop. We might can make something happen. we might can make something happen. Put the DJ committee together and just old school, throw it in the park or get a venue. Hey, you never know. You never know, but that's a different conversation. But you guys are definitely radio legends. I mean, when I mean legends, and I don't think you've done pirate radio, you've done mainstream radio, you even done satellite radio. It's like, I don't even know what's next. Like, for you guys to been in that aspect of the industry, what would you say for you guys as DJs was the pros and the cons? I mean, because technically, when you guys did pirate radio, you were independent. But once you cross the line like Hot 97 or now Power 105 or Sirius, then that's considered like the mainstream. So what was the pros and cons, or what was better to you guys?
Well, I mean, you always think the grass is green on the other side of the fence, but it may not ever really be the case. When it comes to satellite radio, it's I imagine now it's changed tremendously to when we were on, when we were part of the original lineup. One of my biggest issues with them back then was where I felt that they dropped the ball is a lot of the program directors that they brought over originally just came from traditional FM radio stations. And what the issue was with that was that meant that they brought their mindset of how they ran FM stations, they brought that to satellite radio. And it didn't need to be like that, because satellite radio was a brand new platform, different rules and regulations, so you could play differently. But a lot of the program directors that were around back then just didn't have that mindset, that creativity to branch out to be different. Although Special K, the cat that hired us at Sirius, he was really, really dope. And he thought differently. He presented it differently. And he, and then when we were up there, he was unfortunately, he left the station about a year after we got up there. And I always wish that he had stayed a little longer, because I think that the station would have been a lot different. The channels would have been a lot different long term, because he was really creative with things that he brought to satellite radio.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely actually I worked at Sirius XM for a little while myself, but I was in the talent and industry relations department. Shout out to my man Liam up there. You know, we was up there bringing in the guests and stuff. But I heard the name, the Wonder Twinz, a few times when I was up there. So I knew y'all guys definitely had a presence up there, and y'all was rocking and rolling. Now
we were up there for a long time. We were up there for over 10 years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a decade is I mean an amazing time for any DJ to be anywhere, because sometimes, you know, you got certain DJs who can't last a season or even a weekend. So I mean, y'all guys definitely held it down up there. But now you guys are actually, which is surprising to know, that you guys have ownership of your whole catalog of interviews, even from Sirius. You guys have that ownership, and you're now bringing them to RecordDrop.com. Like, people now can hear some of your more famous interviews with cats like 50 Cent and Cameron and Lil Wayne, when they were, before they were big as they are now. Like, they sat with you guys and talked, and now people can come to RecordDrop.com. What made you guys want to bring your catalog to RecordDrop.com?
Well, I mean, we chose that because of our relationship with Steve, and just knowing his integrity. Our catalog is, you know, it's got a lot of value to myself and my brother. So, you know, it's important to if you're going to release it, it's important to be able to know that you're doing it with an organization and a team that has your best interests in mind. And I feel 1,000% that way with Drop. Why it took so long is a different story. I mean, you're talking years and years of footage of shows, and just, it's one of those things that you say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Finally, we just got around to saying, you know what, let's just do it.
And shout out to Steve Kitt, the CEO and creator and founder of RecordDrop.com. You guys, if you haven't signed up, it is free for everybody. Guys, go sign up, RecordDrop.com. But you'll be able to see every single interview these guys have done, and mixes as well. Like, we'll be able to go back to the future. We'll be able to go to those moments, and then even see where some of those guys are at now. If I know, I mean, just for a hip hop lover like myself, I'm gonna just be giggling and laughing, and definitely, and also the freestyles. You guys have a bunch of freestyles in that catalog.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of dope freestyles. Every time an artist came up, we asked them to freestyle.
Oh yeah,
that's what I think every radio DJ lives for, is having somebody up in the studio with you. I mean, there's two things you love as a hip hop radio DJ. One is being in the studio with some turntables and nobody telling you to stop, and the other one is to have people up in there ready to spit some freestyles. And we had some really, really good freestyles and really good interviews. I remember when Ghostface came up, I was prepared for him. I brought a pair of Wallabies with me so he could sign them, and you know, I was ready for the freestyle. I mean, there's certain artists, when they come up, like you were saying before, it's like a kid on Christmas. You can't wait for them to get in the studio just so you can get to work. Let's do freestyle. Let's talk about, like, you know, how you came up, whatever. And some artists really surprised you. Some artists you weren't expecting to be dope were unbelievable dope. And some artists you were expecting to be dope were horrible. You know what I mean? So it's like you never know what to expect.
Can you give us one of those artists? Like, who surprised you that comes off the top of your head? When it comes to like those artists that gave you that surprise lyrically, who was one of those artists?
If there's one thing I learned living in New York, is that nobody likes to rat. So I'm not going to rat on anybody saying that they surprised me. Like, I thought they weren't good, and then they are good. You know, We usually did when we were up on Sirius. It was a little different. Up on Sirius, I think we filtered people a little bit more and made sure to only bring up the best that we could find. So we didn't just let any. When we did pirate radio, we used to let kids call in and freestyle on the air, and sometimes they were horrible.
Yeah.
But sometimes that was the best radio. Sometimes that was fun. You know what I mean? But when we got up on Sirius, I think we took it a little bit more serious and really tried to vet some of the artists before they came up. You know?
Yeah.
Is my brother alive there? Or is he frozen? My brother looks like he's frozen. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I think he actually is. I didn't even realize he said something.
I was like, yeah, that dude's frozen.
Keep losing him. He gotta jump back on. But we gonna keep it going. I mean, you guys
man,
have.
I'm here.
You guys have had, like I said, as I talk to you guys more and more and more, I'm thinking about all of these moments, and I was privileged to like literally be grown up to listen to you guys. And as you talked about, like,
well, that's really cool.
Where some of the MCs was horrible, but you guys didn't pull no punches. Y'all would cut like, nah.
Well, we had fun. Other people would call in and tell us what they thought of it. We did do a really dope thing up on Sirius. We did a with End of the Week, EO Dub, and all those guys. We used to have them come up to the. They had an EOW had End of the Week a mic challenge downtown, and they used to then take the winners of that mic challenge and bring them up to the radio station, and that was fun. And I see artists nowadays, Blind Fury. I seen him. He tore 106 and Park up. He's a phenomenal freestyler. And he used to come up to our He used to come up to our radio station back in the day and tear it up back. So, you know, I can't say I didn't expect it, but you don't know that's the beauty of independent artists and college radio and underground radio is you're not trying, but you're usually catching people before they get a big publicity push. So a lot of times you're getting a kid who comes through and is on your radio station and you've never heard of him. And all of a sudden he spits a ridiculous freestyle and you're like, oh my God. And then 2 years later, you're seeing this kid around on other stations and magazines and this and that or whatever. And you're like, I remember when that kid came to my station, I didn't even know who the hell he was.
And you guys got that good Wi-Fi, huh?
Hey, baby, what are you doing? I'm selling Wi-Fi, motherfucker. Leave me alone. Look, he's frozen again. What the hell is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yo, he froze like mid-sneeze and shit. I wish I could draw it. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. But, yeah, we'll bring him back somehow. But, again.
It's our poster. You and me with our poster of my brother hanging on the wall.
Oh man, but I mean, everybody now can hear, and then you guys aren't stopping either. You guys will be still doing brand new interviews and talking to, you know, a lot. It's so much going on with Record Drop, and then you'll be able to now discover a lot of the new talent who are looking for that. Like, and all artists. You can go to RecordDrop.com and build your profile and actually shout out, reach out to the Wonder Twinz. And if they want to bring you on, they like your stuff, they want to bring you on, they can. So, get on it now. You know what I mean? So we're going to bring Sonic in. Hopefully he got his Wi-Fi situation situated.
God, how annoying. So Blind Look, I'm back. People are going to watch this video just to see how many times I disappear and come back.
Yeah, I
come back in a different background every single time.
It's going to be a drinking game. So, Blind Fury was the artist that I was going to say.
Now, Blind Fury, I actually do still follow him on social media. He's still, I would have loved to have seen him, like, a machine get behind him and really develop. I can see Blind Fury working with somebody, say like Ninth Wonder, who can give him that a project worth listening to from beginning to end. But my opinion, that's where I'm at. But
Right. Well, when I bring up an artist like that, I just think about the fact that he's blind, and the fact that like that would be enough for a lot of people just to scare them away from chasing any type of dream. But then to put yourself into an environment like hip hop, in a freestyle battle environment, which is where he thrived. He's got strikes against him because of that disability, and it didn't faze him. He would just go and he would just be incredible with the way, just the wordplay, and just the way he would just pretty much destroy his competition.
I think it actually benefited him. Because I think sometimes when you close your eyes, you remove a lot of distractions right there in itself. And I think it possibly gave him an ability to be able to focus more than his opponents. Something did something, because they put him up on 106 in Park, and he ate through every single person and every single thing they put in front of him.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a reason for that. So I don't know if you could say it benefited him in some sort of strange way, but something benefited him, and that's a perfect example. I had no idea who he was until all of a sudden we started doing radio, and he came into our circle doing radio, and now I love seeing him out and about. I love seeing his freestyles and stuff like that.
I mean, and right now the freestyle battle, like literally rap battles, are still. I think they're bigger than ever. Like you got URL, you got Queen of the Ring. Like you have a lot of those like rap battle leagues. Have you guys ever considered starting your own?
Well, because in a different room. Every time you're in a different room now.
He got to work. He got to work out and do the interview at one time.
He's on house arrest.
This is what I do.
And that's the beauty of like to take you right back full circle. Funkmaster Flex to this day is still holding it down for freestyle battles. To this day, he is still bringing independent artists that you had never heard of up to his radio station. Most of them are cats you've heard of if your ear is really to the street, but for the majority of the people out there, they find out about a new artist on Flex's show. I have to give Flex his credit because he's still doing what he's been doing this whole time. And I mean, certain things have changed, but for the majority, his platform has never changed, really. He's still doing late night, get you ready to go out and party and have a good time. And at the same time, he's bringing new artists up on the late night and doing underground stuff. You know what I mean? That's, to me, that's, I don't know if that's unique to New York DJs, but when I think of a DJ, that's what now you.
I bet you in the next 15 seconds he's gonna be in another room.
Okay.
You probably got the audience right now like, damn, how many rooms he got in it?
We're going on an adventure.
But I mean, is freestyle battles like had y'all ever truly like thought of doing your own league? Because I mean, you guys brought on a lot of guys, women and men yourself. So have you ever just say, you know what, maybe we should do a league, like just have two go at it? And
well, we did. Well, when we used to do our events, when we did remote lounge down there in Bowery for years, we had a lot of performances, and we did for a while. We did straight battles where we brought cats in. They had to sign up, and then they would just we went toe to toe. And did we do rounds? Is that what we did back then?
I was too young.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
EOW would come down and host them sometimes.
Is that what it was? Yeah, it was with EOW. So yeah, we did the Mike Challenge League with EOW on Sirius, and that'll be on the podcast too.
Yeah, I'm privileged to actually be able to look through some of the catalog, just looking at and we're uploading a lot of the catalog. Y'all got so much. It's gonna really take. I was speaking to Steve Kitt, CEO of RecordDrop, and he was even telling me like it's gonna take us maybe weeks to months to upload all of the and then after they upload all your interviews and mixes, they're going to have to listen to each one of them to see which one they want to use and when and where. So I understand the process of what's going on.
My brother's first radio show in college was the Babbler Show.
Yeah. That's what I did.
That's why it's going to take you so long to upload all that shit.
What are you eating over there?
But for everybody listening, RecordDrop.com, the Wonder Twinz vault. And when I mean you think Prince had a vault, these guys right now have a vault that's just words can express. And then on top of that, like I said, they're still adding to that vault. But they just coincidentally the record drop.
I want to listen to it. I haven't listened to it. There's a lot of it that I have not listened to in years. So I'm gonna go to RecordDrop.com and I'm gonna listen to it myself.
But besides the Wonder Twinz vault with RecordDrop.com, what else is next for the Wonder Twinz? What? Besides moving around the house and moving around the mansion, what's next for the Wonder Twinz?
Yo, real talk, that heavy bag behind him is 30 years old. Probably 40 years old.
It looked grand.
What's next for us? What's next for the Wonder Twinz? Well, I mean, we still DJ. I'm still DJing. Now, I'm down here in Atlanta. Well, I'm not in Atlanta. I'm north of Atlanta, actually. So if you're ever down here in the South, I'm down here having house parties and hotel parties every Friday night in downtown Alpharetta.
You ain't got to tell me twice. Shoot. Before it gets too cold, I'll definitely come swing out there with you once or twice.
Come to the Hamilton Hotel in Alpharetta, Georgia on a Friday night. You will not be disappointed.
Say less. Well, I mean, I know right now it's kind of hard to say exactly due to with the pandemic. Tours are kind of limited, even though things are opening up. But we have a lot of like another wave or another variant. But what do you guys see for the Wonder Twinz in the next 5 years?
I mean, we'll always be the Wonder Twinz. Well, whatever comes next.
How about a movie?
Yeah, how about a movie?
As long as it's not on Lifetime.
Yeah, it's not on Lifetime.
I would love to see that movie.
What the hell? It's gonna be on the Hallmark Channel.
I didn't say my mom was gonna write a movie about her sons and shit. I'm gonna write a movie about my fucking self.
Very special.
Fucking Lifetime. It's gonna be on Oprah.
At least they're good.
Listen, I'm gonna write a fucking movie about my life. It's gonna be on Oprah. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna cry.
Hey, but
that's the movie.
I learned something. Oprah gonna make sure we had the facts.
So we did just finish.
We are. He's my brother's been keeping busy.
Yeah, we
tell him what you wrote.
Movie, a screenplay about just our travels. It's the Wonder Twinz. I would say the era is from between 1998 to the mid 2000s. Whatever, and then it's just the movies it carries us through our different experiences and our travel. So that's what I've been working on.
And you guys are actually, I mean, not just DJs, but you got also touring DJs. What kind of tours? I mean, I can literally, I would love to see those stories, because I can imagine like the stuff you guys experience going on tours with, especially artists like Naughty by Nature, and who else were some artists that you guys went on tours with?
Well,
my favorite tours of, well, you go ahead. We did a lot of underground cats as well, not just the what do you say?
Please continue.
No, I mean, predominantly, of course, the most impactful group we've ever worked with was Naughty by Nature. I would say they're an amazing hip hop group. They're amazing guys. They're amazing people. They're just all around amazing humans. Vin Rock is in a is an amazing person. And so is Tretch, and so is KG, and so is their whole circle, their whole foundation, from Queen Latifah and Shakim to all of East Orange and everybody in Illtown who surrounds them. They embraced us the moment they met us. And the best part about our relationship with Vin and Tretch and Kay is that we just approached them at a music conference in a hotel, and they were very receptive. And I just talked to my daughter about this the other day. Some would say we were lucky, but all that anybody who knows anything says is luck is, preparation and opportunity. They were walking in the hotel lobby. We were prepared with what we wanted to say. We had our magazine, we had our mixtapes, we had our shit together. We stepped to them, said, yo, here's what we do. We'd love to do this, this, and that. And Vin said, yo, here's my number. Let's get together. We got together. And really, honestly, the rest is history. One day he called and said, how's your passport? And that was it. The next thing you know, we started traveling everywhere with them. And it was an amazing experience. You learn a lot from them, not just traveling, just the knowledge you learn from talking with them on the phone all the time. My brother's on the phone with Vin and with Chuck D and with a lot of different artists Kool Herc, a lot of different artists from a different generation, from a different era of hip hop, who can give you wisdom different.
I like to call them pioneers, because everybody you just named, for me, it was the pioneer. They're the reason we have the hip hop culture. So
right. So one of the things with that is just that that's really attainable for anybody. It's just when you look at people and you admire them for their achievements and things like that, that's well deserved. But when you look at somebody just as a human being to another human being, you know what I mean? You get surprised how easy it is to be able to approach somebody in a humble fashion, and no matter how much more history they have, that synergy can be there at any time. And it's just about developing relationships and not being afraid to develop a relationship, and just, and being humble and just being who you are.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are those times when you meet an artist and it ain't who you thought it was. There are those times when you meet an artist and they're an asshole and you're like, damn, I hate that shit. But you have to train yourself to plow through that shit and realize that the next person you meet is going to be receptive, because there's always both sides. You meet some artists and you're like, oh my God, you're the greatest person I ever met. And then you meet some artists and you're so excited, and you meet them and you're like, damn, you're a dick. And it sucks, but you got to take the good with the bad.
I know exactly from both sides what you guys are talking about. Like, I've actually have met Vin on several. Actually, every time I talk to Vin is at Cool DJ Brother Alert's birthday party, right? Like, he throws a party every year in Soho, and we and him always see each other and chop it up. Now, there's another artist that I've ran into once or twice that has been a complete dickhead, but I'm gonna leave his name anonymous. I'm not gonna mention him, but let's say.
Well, we're all in this thing for different reasons. Some people are in this just for the notoriety, and some people are in this because, for whatever reason, whether it's to build more relationships and friendships, or whether it's to teach people, or whether it's to learn, or whether it's just to have a name and make sure people. I mean, everyone's in this for a different reason. So that's the tough part, is figuring out where the synergy lies and where it doesn't. Unfortunately, you have to get burnt sometimes. And that's happened a few times, too. You want to hear some times of how we got jerked? Hey, give me a point when we got jerked, Chris. Who did we get jerked by? Anybody?
Record labels. There was a record label that jerked us a few times, out of some opportunities, out of some money. And the one guy ended up going to jail for running a Ponzi scheme.
I remember there were these two brothers. I'm not going to name names. There were these two brothers that had a record label up in the upper 50s or wherever up in there, and they had such a sloppy, messy record label. You'd go inside, you'd open the door. Number one, the door looked like nobody goes in this place ever. And you walk inside, and it was a big, open, just dusty, dirty old office filled with boxes of records and this and that. Had one chick working in the lobby there trying to tape boxes up, and it had like one of the brothers who was the owner had his big 1970 baller office, and they would do what they would do. They would sell pass-through deals. You as an artist would be able to go to them and they would say, you give me X amount of money and we will press your record up and we will put you into our system. You know, they're all tapped into the distribution. You know, the music label boils down to, what is it, 5 labels or 3 labels? And those labels are the ones that provide the distribution system network for all the other, the physical distribution. When we used to put them out in stores, it's different now. It's streaming, but still.
Yeah, this story is
so they used to be able to
different platform.
Totally different platform. But they could.
But you know what? The artists need to hear this. They need to hear this.
Well, they can. You were able to spend a certain amount of money. I don't know the number, but you could spend a certain amount of money, or I don't want to say the number. You could spend a certain amount of money, and they would then press your record up, and they'd put it in their system. And so next thing you know, you as an artist would go to Tower Records or wherever else, a record store, and you'd find your CD is there in Tower Records. But it's not moving because there's no poster there. There's no end cap. There's no promotion on it. The promotion is on you as an artist. You have to promote the album. So then you as an artist got to go find someone to press up posters and put them out on the street and hit up. And it's a very tough, it was a very tough industry.
It was a shady way to do it because they're selling pipe dreams because it's a business. They're making their money. They get a flat fee to give you the distribution to get you in those outlets, but they're not doing any promotion. Or if they are, they're doing very limited amount. And it's on you to do the rest, which is fine. But, for the most part, the smaller labels that they were doing these deals with didn't really have the experience or their own money to really make an impact with a promotional push. So, like my brother said, they would get their music in those stores, and they would just sit there because no one knew that there was no advertisement.
Those would become tax write-offs for their labels.
And that's why most of them do that, because it's a tax write-off.
And I mean, quite honestly, which be the reason why so many artists are just saying, no, I'm gonna go straight independent. I'm gonna do it on my own. And I mean, now it's working. Then it was like, you're crazy to go independent.
No, but see,
what do they say? They say you respect the music culture, learn the music business, and outsmart the music industry. Because the industry will do that. You just saw Tekashi 6ix9ine on the internet the other day talking about how you can straight up buy spots on the Billboard charts. He was talking about how his album was put up against another album, and the other album outsold his album. And when they looked at the tally, something like 30,000 copies of the album were bought with 6 credit cards. Maybe it wasn't 30,000, maybe it was 10,000, whatever the number was, but it was an obscene number of albums that were bought with 6 credit cards to help push the numbers up. I mean, so the music industry is a manipulated machine that's designed to make money at the end of the day. It doesn't care about music at all. And that's what bothers them when the music industry changes as drastically as it has in the last 10 years. Because nowadays you don't necessarily need a label to come along and distribute your album. You just need to find a way up onto the internet, hopefully in Spotify or a platform that people come to. But kids nowadays, they're making noise just on TikTok, on their own platforms that they can control. It's a whole different world now.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that drew me to RecordDrop, where it was like, support independent artists. You get the true feedback from the audience. It was the middleman is gone. It's artists to fan base. That's it. Fan base to artists is that simple, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like the two things in music that truly make each other is the artists and the supporters. Let's just bring them together and let them work together. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I definitely think it's a beautiful thing, and it's to see you guys coming along and further push it and say, you know what? Here's our whole catalog. We believe in that freedom of and we want to show you guys what it is to be free and independent. It's just a beautiful thing. But
we do have a lot of there's a lot of great shows in our catalog, a lot of great material, and it's just it's wonderful to be able to just put it out so people can enjoy it.
And I definitely I'm looking forward to listening to a lot of those interviews, as well as some of the dopest mixes. Probably anybody. If I was still DJing, I probably would take a few tricks with both of you guys. I probably would listen to a couple of mixes, maybe still one or two before I go to a club or something, do a party. But listen, I'm gonna wrap this up because I want everybody right now to go to RecordDrop.com. Build your profile. And once you do, stay tuned for the Wonder Twinz Vault. Trust me, you will see some and hear some of the dopest interviews, and you'll see some dope new interviews as well.
Look at that thing.
Also, yeah, that's right. If you want to go, the WonderTwinz.com. Check them out. Sirius XM. See, this is why you love to let they take it all the way. take it all the way. I gotta say nothing. Just all you gotta do is just look, but DJ Sonic, DJ Vader again. I love you guys. My first time meeting DJ Vader, but I've met DJ Sonic a few times. But you guys have been such an influence. You guys are up there with guys like the late great Frankie Crocker. Also, who else? I mean, it's a cool DJ Red Alert, Chuck Chill Out. For me, who else? I have a lot of radio influences, but you guys are definitely up there because, again, what I do today is because I was watching and learning from you guys every step of the way. So to come full circle and be able to sit with you guys and have the lessons, and y'all taught me a few things today that I definitely will keep in mind. but I appreciate you guys, everybody. Again, RecordDrop.com, the Wonder Twinz Vault. Please give these gentlemen their flowers, because a lot of stuff that we have, is because of these two men right here. DJ Sonic, DJ Vader, man, we gotta get together, man. DJ Battle is something.
Thank you for the flowers. Thank you very much. Like my man Snoop Dogg said, I'd like to thank me for all the hard work and belief and my brother as well. I'd like to thank him too. He did, on the real, he put in all the hard work. My brother's the one that went through all of our old radio shows and converted them in between playing with his He-Man dolls.
I have a daughter,
and
this is what we do.
Is that an action figure?
It's well, I don't know his name.
I'm with you, brother. I got a daughter too. Real men wear pink. Real men let their daughters paint their toes. That's the way it goes. # girl dad.
Girl dad.
Hey,
bro.
listen.
You got kids?
Y'all know better than me. I got one boy. That's it.
Oh, there you go. Now, they say, my brother's got one of each. So they say and I only have a daughter. So what I hear is girls will break your heart and boys will break your shit. Like boys will break everything you own and girls will just break your heart.
Hey, listen, my son know better. but maybe one day I will learn with the girl. But again,
how old is your son? My
son is 10, a decade.
10. Okay, so both of you guys have a lot of broken shit laying around your house.
Well, if anything's broken, is the stuff that he got. That's his toys.
Yeah.
It ain't my toys. But again, guys, DJ Vader, DJ Sonic, I appreciate you guys, man. Love y'all guys, man. I look forward to doing a lot of great things with you guys and be not only like I'm going from a fan to actually being your colleague. So I mean, it's a dream come true, and I appreciate you guys.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you very much for the time.
No, thank you. And Vader, I gotta get you a money tree, man. I gotta get you a money tree. That's the plant you need. You need the money tree.
This ain't a money tree?
No, I don't think so. It don't look like a money tree to me. It look like a daisy.
Money, baby. Money.
Like daisy.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. No, I don't need it's fake anyway, so it don't matter what it is.
How they say you gotta fake it till you make it?
For real.
So is that what this is? We're wrapping this up, Chris? Should we wrap this up like the show? You got the outro ready to go? When me and my brother used to do the radio show, we used to have the outro ready to go. He was in charge of the outro. I would talk and he would play the outro. You ready with the outro or no?
I would be honored.
I didn't know. I didn't get the memo on that one. I thought you were just going to say, take care of your mother, and then we were going to leave.
All right. Well, until next time, America, take care of yourself.
Uh-huh.
And your mother.
Yeah.
No, really, though. Really. Take care of your mother.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. If you still have them, take care of it. But, yo, this is Jamel Lamar. It's the Renayssance. You dig? I know you do.